pick your door and make sure your teammates don't get lost.
Break in and steal $4 million.
Colossal. Okay, we've got 24 hours to see what Philadelphia has to offer. So we'll do a walking tour to get all the history in that we can, see if we can find this cheesesteak. But first of all, let's hop to Eastern State Penitentiary. Now, Lisa's a big fan of the old murder mystery pods, so wanted to have a look around Eastern State Penitentiary from hearing a bit about it. I was more excited because I found out that Steve Buscemi was doing the voiceover, which was great fun. But this is honestly an amazing tourist attraction. You get to see what it was like when these guys first lived there. It was viewed as sort of a revolution in incarceration. So they built these cells that were all isolationist, so one person to a cell. They were initially built so the doors weren't on the inside. They came in via the sort of garden area, and these were the food hatches that the prisoners would have their only contact to the guards and were delivered their food through. As you can see, they're not the greatest cells in the world, but, you know, for 19th century prisons, I'm sure there was much worse out there. However, I don't fancy using that toilet. Then as you reach the centre of the prison, you feel like you're entering some kind of game show where you have to pick your door and make sure your teammates don't get lost. Definitely felt a bit Crystal Mazy to me, as we had to go and pick our next level. And that next level or upgrade was the great thought of how do we get more prisoners? I know, build a second level. So that's what they did in the early 20th century. Because the prison was still going up until very, very recently, which is great because we got to walk down this corridor and hear stories from prisoners that actually stayed there about how it was in the guards that are still alive today. One of their prisoners that's not alive today was their most famous prisoner, Mr. Al Capone. You'll see his cell in a second. It is not quite like the others. However, what is also there about the modern day is there's a big piece on the current incarceration problem in America. We didn't film that, but if you go there, please check it out. It is fascinating and really, really enjoyable. Now, one of the things we were most looking forward to about Philadelphia was obviously trying some cheesesteaks. So you can imagine my disappointment and frustration after months of research to find that I didn't check what was open on a Monday, and it is not John's Roast Pork or Angelino's Pizzeria, which were the two cheesesteaks I really wanted to try. However, Sonny's was a half-decent offering in the centre of town. It was, from what I read, ranked as a decent tourist cheesesteak, and I think that's probably fair, but still, it was cheesy, it was steaky, it was pretty delicious. A good 4 out of 5, not groundbreaking. So after hitting up the Eastern State Penitentiary, which is well worth a visit, and a quick cheesesteak for lunch, we headed over a walking tour with the amazing Thomas. It was a big mix of history, a few other bits. As you can see, we started off with a visit to the Dream Garden, which is a beautiful Tiffany made installation out the back of this fantastic hotel lobby, which if you want somewhere you want to live in here, it's going to cost you 7 figures. Next, we headed over to Washington Square Park, which is one of 2 Congo Square parks or areas in the United States. There's a great history to Congo Square. You'll have to come on the walking tour with Thomas to find out all the details.
To break in and steal $162,000. That is over $4 million in today's money.
So it's not just history on this tour, there's loads of other insightful stuff you'll learn. But back to the history for a second. So this was a bell donated by Queen Elizabeth II to commemorate America's 200-year anniversary. And then after this, we headed round to the first stock exchange in America. And unsurprisingly, if not slightly unrelated, next to a stock exchange is one of the biggest piss-ups in American history. Before heading over to the oldest residential street in America, yes, there are still people living here, not in this building because the owners are trying to get far too much money for it. And then we learnt about the great Benjamin Franklin before trying to throw coins on his grave.
How'd you guys do? You made it?
Get it? Yeah.
Thank
you so much. Handed it.
Got dessert for later, always get dessert to go, but Lisa can't walk past the cheesesteak without buying it.
Cheesesteak.
But here for the thing that I've seen online a few places, Dick Nick's roast pork sandwich. Roast pork sandwich from Dick Nick's. It's got broccoli and other stuff on it. I don't know, I just said yes.
I'm gonna open this one, seeing as you got to open the Philly cheesesteak earlier. Oh my god. moist, right?
Moist. And weirdly, the broccoli really adds something to it. Ah, banging. We checked out every queue and Lisa's made a decision. So.
Finally. I was so overwhelmed with the choice.
I don't think it is, but in my head it's that fear that something else just could be better.
Yeah, and like end of the day, some things aren't open and like there's not many queues anywhere, so like normally we'd go with what's got a fairly decent queue. That looks, I think that's a good choice. So I've gone with beef brisket, barbecue sauce and cheese. Can't go wrong, right? Oh my gosh, look how much there is. It's like the Katz's all over again. That's pretty good.
I need to try this sandwich, it looks amazing. This thing is colossal. Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't pick the right sandwich today, someone else did. Eat this, head back for my cookie.
And cheesesteak.
Oh, and there we go. 24 hours in Philadelphia, all done and dusted. We saw as much of the city as we could. I'm sure there's still plenty to see, and we will be back to experience it. But Eastern State Penitentiary, I would strongly advise going to visit that. That is a great tourist attraction. Shows you stuff from the past, shows you problems of today. Really worth checking out. If you need a walking tour, check out Thomas. His details are below. It was super fun, super insightful, provided a bit of history, provided some fun bank robber stories and a few little bits. Super engaging, lovely guy. Unfortunately, cheesesteak was a mild letdown. Hit up Sonny's, but there's better options out there. As I said, try Angelino's, try John's roast pork. There's plenty of options. And at Reading Terminal Market, go for the brisket. Give Dick Nicks a miss, despite what other creators say. Not the one for us as far as we're concerned. Just too much going on. But anyway, off to DC now. So 24 hours in DC coming up next.